How's everybody doing? It is live. It is the Girl World Summit. So I've been talking about obesity, obviously, online for quite a long time now, and this subculture of YouTube. And I've made videos about, I think, all the people that we're going to be talking about mainly, but there's like a subculture in the YouTube area when it comes to weight loss that a lot of people refer to as Girl World. And I have Tiffany, Lindsay, and Julian here with me. And like you guys, there's a lot of commentary that goes, and follow all their channels. Please, guys, in the comments section, you guys can put comments in, can't you? I believe. Make sure to put your channel in there. So everybody go follow all of these folks. And Julian Julian does moderation on my channel for me on my lives. But it's this like kind of subculture of these very fucking crazy people. And I just thought we would get like an introduction. I don't like, and people tend to not really understand this, but I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I definitely don't watch a lot of weight loss YouTube because, in truth, I find it extremely frustrating. As a weight loss coach, I find it to be very like sad and frustrating and a little bit like, you know, like tragic, I guess is the right word, because I mean, but I'm also the type of person where like these people are in charge of their own destiny and they should not be fucking around like this. But Tiffany, let's start with you, then we'll go with Lindsay, then we'll go with Julian. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and let us say hi to everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody probably knows who you are, all guys are, but go ahead.
For sure. I know I've been on your channel before, and I'm usually always hanging around in the chats. But my name is Tiffany. My channel name is Tiffany Gray. I did take a bit of a hiatus from YouTube, but hoping to kickstart 2023. Just getting back into YouTube. I definitely am fascinated. I like to call it a trap door. That when I got introduced to Amberlynn Reed, it was like a trap door. I was bamboozled into the entire girl world. So.
All right.
We'll talk about the trapdoor when we get going. First question.
I'm Lindsay. My channel is That's Lindsay with an A. You guys probably see me around in Alan's chats. I just make funny videos of the girls because everything's always so serious and it's only gotten more serious. And I like to make, lighthearted of some of the more serious topics to try to keep it funny. If you hear a baby in the background, I do have the baby with me. So you might hear, but yeah, I've been following Alan for a long time. I'm good friends with Tiffany offline as well. But yeah, I'm in the trapdoor as well. I'm here.
And Julian.
All right. So I'll go next. Hi, I'm Julian. Longtime Girl World watcher, and for once, I can actually speak what I want to say to Chantal or about Chantal or anything on a video rather than just going in the chat and being like, God damn it, why does she do this again? But yeah, I'm a longtime Chantal supporter until maybe 2019. And then I was just like, nope, I'm done. The cycle's done. I can't. So yeah, that's my story. And you guys probably know me in the commentary community as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you were also in the Dark Side of Fat Acceptance video too.
Yep. Yeah. I was Raven in. I'm Raven in the Dark Side of Fat Acceptance with purple hair.
So you guys all talked about this trap door, and I'm assuming that means like people start watching and I've fallen through it myself multiple times where all of a sudden like I've just watched 3 videos in a row of people that I don't even like because to everybody that once understands this, I have nothing against any of these full-on fucking loon bags that we're talking about, but I also do believe that to a certain degree they're not really like, it's an interesting way to look to see what not to do, but at the same time, like I have a hard time sympathizing with any of them because they're monetizing their very seriously negative behavior. What, like when you talk about the trapdoor, like explain that to these people.
So for me, there was a recent TikTok trend that I can't remember the movie, but it was like this guy who was banging on the door, or maybe it was like the bookshelf, it was this sci-fi movie, and he's seeing himself in the past, and he's like, no, don't. And I'm like, that's me to my past self almost with these girls. Like, don't, like opening up your first reaction video. So I don't know how it came across my feed, but it definitely was through reaction channels. So I do find that kind of interesting that there is this, this world of like, you watch them and then you watch people's commentary on them. But I do feel like it's kind of a bit of a train wreck. There are some moments where there are just funny, crazy, wild moments. Sometimes these women say things that are just so outrageous. I'm like, oh my God, because all of us, I think, are invested in wellness and health on some aspect. So that's probably like the common denominator that we have. And they're talking about health and wellness or their lack of it. So yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of I can't look away. There's been times where I've taken breaks, but it just goes so deep because once you find one, it's like a domino effect. You find the other and all the outrageous things that they say and do. The fact that they perpetuate it is what interests me as well. The rhetoric that they use, how they speak about their bodies, and then how we see this kind of come up in sometimes the real world as well. When things make articles, make the news, it's like, oh my God, this pocket of the internet is on, Dr. Phil. Like, so yeah,
because I really think that like these ladies, and this might get some heat, but I think they're a very good representation of like the actual mentality of fat acceptance. I think that it's just more magnified. I think to a certain degree, like when I first started talking about the fat acceptance movement 5 or 6 years ago, they were all very representative of these crazy people. Like fucking grandma from the fucking from the documentary Dark Side of Fat Acceptance reminds me very much of somebody that would be associated with them, where it's just completely irrational. They justify any negative behavior they can for their own, like, so they can keep glutting themselves. And if you say anything to them, you're a hater, you're the problem, right? And I just think that like people have, like, mainstream media has taken advantage and social media has taken advantage because I think offline we were talking about what was the monetary figure that Amberlynn Reid was just recently boasting about, like she's eating a month money wise.
So she said that she was previously spending $3,000, and then recently she's been spending $800. But she said it in a way that was like, "Oh well, I tip very well. One Uber Eats can be really expensive." So again, just the way in which they talk about their behavior, it's always, regardless of whether I think they're trying to lose weight or whether they're like, "I would never lose weight. That's fat phobic." They all are under this umbrella of no matter what they do or say, it's always positive and a good thing, even when it's very obviously not.
Yeah, I think we have both sides of the coin with Amber and Foodie. I think with Foodie, we have, I'm fat and you're going to like it. Okay. And then with Amber, we have, I'm fat. I know it's bad, but you're still going to like it. Like, you have both sides of the coin where one of them knows it's bad. The other one pretends like she knows it's bad, but I don't think Foodie will ever get there. I don't think Amber will ever get there. And that's the saddest part for me. And here we are, we're just watching it happen.
Well, Amberlynn Reid's going to die at some point in time in the next 5 years. Like, unless she changes. I mean, she just, from what I think, Julian, what you told me, or what Tiffany, what you told me. I mean, the regain to 5'10", she was down in like the 460s. She put on 50 pounds and the last video I believe I did on her was when she hurt her ankle. Like, I said, she's going to regain weight. Like, you cannot eat the way she eats and not regain weight if you're not being active. And for most people that have problems with food, when they get injured, which is another reason why I always tell very large people to be very careful about their activity. When they get injured, the depression kicks in, and the first thing they go to is food because it's their medication. They self-medicate with food. That's how they got fat as fuck to begin with. But for her, especially, when you're 500 pounds, if you go for a walk a day, that could be 500 fucking calories. Like, because the larger you are, the more calories you burn. Now, a lot of people don't seem to get this, where the bigger you are, the more you burn. That's why when you start losing weight, eventually you have to, like, when people are that big, she should lose weight in tears. Like, if Amberlynn Reid was my client, I would turn her down. First of all, I would not, like, she needs inpatient therapy. So because the mental illness is just wow. But like, say if fucking Tess Holiday would reach out to me, I'd start Tess on 2,500 calories before we got down to the eventual 1,500, because she's lazy as fuck and fucking eats too much. She probably eats when these people are eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, but they're 400 pounds. 400 pounds on a, like, even on a treadmill for 30 minutes, that can burn like 400 or 500 calories. And it sounds like more than like, if I was on a treadmill for 30 minutes just walking, 200 calories would probably burn, because I'm much smaller than Tess Holiday, which is pretty fucking sad because I'm a muscular adult male. But when she got 520, somebody just put in 520 pounds. Is she just turning 30?
I feel like she's
think she's like 32.
Yeah.
Amber
If
Lynn?
I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I actually wanted to bring up something about Chantal because it reminded me of something you said where ALR will never change. Well, actually, Tiffany, you said Chantal would never change. I was going back and just trying to refresh my memory with Chantal. And in 2016 to like mid 2019, she was actually self-aware of her body. She knew what was happening to her. She knew what she was doing is wrong. And she was trying to get on the right track, but going about it in all the wrong ways. And at that point, I think most of us, we were rooting for her. We were like, look, ma'am, you need to get back on the wagon. This is not, you're probably going to last maybe 5, not even 5, maybe like 4, 5, 6 years, and that's it. And I think it was maybe 2019, end of 2019, where her mental health just went down the drain. And I feel like it was linked to her physical health as well. And then the same with ALR. So I don't know what to say to these people because it's like they live in their own hug box, their own delusion
That's very
bubble.
true. The thing is like that I find interesting as well is, again, regardless of which side of the coin they're on, none of them seem to have a lot of friends. All their supporters are online, and then as soon as you stop supporting them, then you're a hater or you're bullying.
It's because they're manipulators, because they've already manipulated everyone in their lives. The people in their lives in real life are worn out and they're not coming back. And so now they go to online where there's a lot, sorry chat, but there's a lot of dumb people on the internet who will fall for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
believe them that, you can do it. No, they're here for the paycheck and the food. That's
And the
it.
attention.
End of.
Yeah.
It's addiction to attention, addiction to money.
I completely agree. And that's
And
one
they
of the reasons
both
why.
actually admit.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You guys need to cut me off, or I'll just keep talking.
Both of them actually admit that mukbangs make them money. Mukbangs are where the views are. Mukbangs are where they get their attention. Even Foodie, she mentioned it, that she's like, I know these are not good, but I'm getting the views, I'm getting the money, people seem to like it, and maybe if I can try, it can be healthy. And then she started with that to being, I'm gonna have a mukbang every day if I wanted to, and you guys are gonna have to just deal with it. And if I complain about my health, well, just suck it up and deal with it because it's my channel and I will do what I want to. I'm not going to take your advice. And then the people enable her. They're like, oh, you're raging right now. Go eat some food. Go order a nashi. Go get a twisty misty. Go stuff your face
so
with
interesting
Lochmas.
that you point out how the enablers act with folks like Chantal and even like Tess Holiday, recently when she talked about how she doesn't allow the word health in her house because someone dared to say that eating pizza was maybe why she felt bad. But then you've got the enablers for someone like, I almost said April Lauren, like April Lauren, who, if you're not proud of her, even though she's pushing this stagnation as progress somehow, then everyone in our comments will be like, there's no room for hate in this. So yeah, it's just interesting, the hug box that.
Well, I also think that girl world is not just like the really fucked up ones, like Amber Lynn and Chantel. I mean, it's the girl world is anybody that online is acting like that to me. Like, it's a huge portion of the fat acceptance community. And I hate to say that because the fat acceptance community is mostly women, though. I mean,
it's the
from my
girl
experience,
world.
Oh, Lindsay.
Sorry, I think Girl World has morphed into finding out people's bullshit more than a community. It's a group of people who seek out BS and then they go after it.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Go.
Sorry.
No, go.
I mean, I do think it's great. There's probably a lot of us who, again, since we do have some interest in wellness or fitness or health, that we want to find accountability buddies. Like we want to see other people being successful. We don't want other people to fail. But then, oh my gosh, like all of the fat acceptance and health at every size folks on TikTok, like again, the bullshit that they spew, that is even like, that's why lately I've been a little bit more fascinated by those folks than some of these, you know, like the big names and big outliers in that we typically talk about with girl world.
Well, I think that I think to a great degree, it's causing the girl world YouTube people to have to get even fucking crazier with their shit, because TikTok is a whole nother level of fucking crazy when it comes to this shit. Like
TikTok is a whole different demon.
yeah,
It's worse because it's like instant gratification with like, oh, here's my information, here's this, here's that, and it's just 30 seconds or 1 minute, and then people go, oh yes, queen, go for it, blah blah blah,
Queen
live your
shit,
best
yeah.
life, you know, self-care, blah blah blah. But it's not self-care. If you really gave a shit about yourself, you would stop doing that. You're addicted to attention, you're addicted to the stupid garbage cancer app, and you would get offline and go for a walk, eat some good food.
I mean, the weird shit about it is it's just like this. Nobody. I've been fat. Like, I mean, I've been big. Nobody can tell me that they feel good. Like everybody on this panel, I believe, has lost a decent, significant amount of weight. I know Tiffany, you actually are. No Morbidity still treating you well, by the way.
Yes. And so I think I have a video. I was previously at one point over 300, and then I had a knee injury, but no morbidities. It's so bizarre to talk about the absence of hunger. Like it's the absence of something.
It's very hard to market it. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. Like, it's what happens. Like, how do I feel when it's working? You don't really. They just don't.
But a lot of my family and friends have, like I said, they're like stealing my bottles. I'm like, okay, fine, because I'm like, here, try this thing, and they're like, oh, well, just give me, you know, let me try it out. But yes, yeah. To answer your question, yes,
And for those people that ask me, I don't think that my supplement or even my method would necessarily work for some of these people online. Like I've said before, I really believe that like Amberlynn Reed needs to be like in an inpatient facility or she's about to die. Like you know, I don't even think weight loss surgery will help her. Like I think she's one of the people, like if she does qualify to get weight loss surgery, I think that by the time that she reaches because there's a qualification and then there's like a month or two before they have the surgery. I think that by the time she would get there, she would already have regained so much weight that they wouldn't, or that she would not eat beforehand. Like I think it's that self-destructive. Like she's obviously got very serious fucking issues. You know what I mean? I think what the biggest, more along the lines of the travesty of is for both YouTube and TikTok, because they know they absolutely know this is unhealthy behavior. It's in both their terms of service agreement, and they allow it because these people are being used. I think that what a lot of these people from the fat acceptance community, these women, don't realize is that like they hate the patriarchy and they hate capitalism and all that bullshit. Guess what? You're literally a fucking tool of it right now.
I never understand how they can criticize things like capitalism and the diet industry, which, okay, like, sure, you want to criticize things, whatever, but they completely turned a blind eye. What was it? 288 billion or the processed food, the fast food industry, like that stuff that you can criticize as well, but they engage in it. And so they just turn a blind eye to it.
Like even if we ignore just the food industry, let's just look at one sector of the food industry, the sugar part, just purely the sugar, and they make so much money on putting that shit in everything, every single. Oh, hey, kitty. Sorry, I got distracted by kitty. But they put that shit in every single goddamn thing, and even when you think it says no sugar. Sugar has so many names. I think, Alan, you made a video on that, on sugar having so many different names. And I'm just like, so if people don't know sugar, like what they put in there is actually sugar, they're just going to be like, oh, it's healthy. I can eat a whole bag of whatever, blah, blah, blah it is. And then if we go into the topic of sugar alcohols, and I have a whole different, like that's a whole can of worms. They put stuff like maltitol, sorbitol, xylitol in there, being like, it's sugar-free. It treats your body treats it exactly like sugar. It raises your blood sugar.
It's not vegetables or meat.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what I always say to people. Like it's not vegetables or meat, you know, like
and the fact.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
No.
No, you were in the middle of a thought. Go ahead.
Catfish.
By the way, crowd watching, we'll get used to that in a second. So,
I was just going to say as well, the fact that they are so easily able to ignore things that they engage in or that might be a detriment to them, yet they constantly are bringing everything back to themselves is an interesting, like, it's so interesting to me that they will take anything, that stuff that might not have to do with them, and make it about them. And then the things that they do engage in that might be bad, they twist to ignore. Like recently there was the point about how walkable cities are fat phobic, how certain movies are fat phobic, posting your before and afters, your New Year's goals, like everything is brought back to them when it fits their narrative. But if we were to bring up stuff about preferences, I remember there was I can't remember the TikToker, but she was going off and off about, I think the cynical dude made a video about her, about how, or no, there was someone else made a video about her.
She's a preschool teacher.
And
she's a preschool teacher with the red hair.
Yeah, talking about preferences, and people in the
Aren't
comments
they
were
all?
like, someone in the comments said, "What do you have preferences?" And she just refused to answer.
Yeah, because it doesn't apply to them. It's
mental
you have to
gymnastics.
exactly. You have to accept me for me and everything about me, even though I'm going to stuff my face and gain a whole bunch of weight and have all sorts of health issues, and I will put it on social media, and you're going to have to accept and love me for me. But me, if you're a guy and you're under 6 foot, or you don't have 6-pack abs, or you don't have muscles, you don't have a good beard, or blah blah blah, great hair, I don't want you. That's what pisses me off. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, they hold men to a completely different standard. Like, it's insane. I mean, look at Foodie Beauty. She thinks she needs some young spring chicken hot guy from another country.
Oh my God, salad boy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Tell me, come on, how much you pay him? 9,000 it came out?
9,000.
9,000.
She paid 9,000 for allegedly conspiracy, whatever, fake marriage. It is stupid. It is. Oh yeah, we can get into that if you want. But yeah, it's a whole can of worms where people have been calling it out as marriage of convenience. Again, allegedly, but don't know. It's very much looking like it's going to be true. And this isn't the first time she has paid for a man. In fact, she has paid in the last year. How much did she pay Koki? If we count out like the rent, the groceries, the iPad. Oh, Koki is her ex. We call him Koki because the first time they met, she smoked a meth pipe, I think. She said it was a meth pipe or a crack pipe.
Oh, there was like a laundry list of drugs. It wasn't
and he got her hooked on cocaine. And that's how she lost a little bit of weight last year. A little bit. And she's like, oh, no, the Ozempic is working for me. I'm eating healthy. He's cooking me Mediterranean food. No, ma'am. It's the cocaine. We know.
Yeah, and that's, I think, to what we were saying earlier, like they have virtually no one in their lives unless they're paying for them.
They drive people
or they're enabling them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at all of them, it's not just like their relationships are all like relationships in post 2020 world is very bad to begin with. Like because they've found a way to get us all divided into as many different categories as possible, right? I mean, like, nobody can like anybody else is pretty much what the 2020s consist of. But also, like, the amount of mental illness that's just kind of accepted, that is like proliferated by these people, is not conducive to like, actual social engagement. Like I really believe that once people started dating via social media, instead of like, you got to meet somebody out, like actually as a live person, I think that would started to like really like get negative, because you're able to present yourself in a way, like as somebody that does social media for a living. And I'm always honest about this shit. Like, there's a light up here, there's a light down here. And if I wanted to, I could turn on all sorts of other lights. Plus, like, I get to show myself however I want. And that's just live videos. Like, there's filters, there's all sorts of shit that people get to make themselves look different. And the makeup thing, especially in this like girl world thing, is very fucking weird also. But because it's like, I understand where societally we pressure women to wear makeup. I think everybody watching knows my stance on that. I encourage Crystal to wear as little makeup as humanly possible, just because of the toxicity of it. But I understand why women do, because it's like almost seemed like it is like this weird thing society does where it makes it so it's almost not acceptable for women to go outside without makeup. Yeah. And I find that fucked up. But these women are big pushers of that. Like they're humongous pushers. Like if you look at Tess Holiday, she pretends that like, oh, Lindsay's on again.
Oh.
It's
We
the
got-
baby. It's her baby.
The
Baby's
baby
like,
wants to
I
have a
want
chat.
my opinion too.
Yeah. But the weird thing about it is that like, she had to pop off. She's taking herself off. I'm not removing her. So, but she's got the baby with her. We hope everything's okay with the baby, Lindsay. But like the makeup and everything like that, it's just like this societal craziness.
Oh yeah, they all get injections, fillers, hair extensions. They
Yeah.
perpetuate every aspect of fitting into what is societal standards. Yet they criticize the only part of societal standards that they'll criticize is the weight. But
Yeah.
everything else they will spend money on and try to fit the mold in. And even Lindsay's back. Even the consumerism, like they constantly, if it's not just food, they're constantly consuming clothes. Like they have issues with that in other aspects of their lives. But yeah, they'll have every part of the beauty standard except when it comes to the fat and the weight.
Yeah,
Now-
my internet booted me. Sorry, guys.
No problem at all. Now, when we get to that sort of thing, like there's the consumerism and all that, why is it so like? What do you? I mean, and this is just being devil's advocate. Do you believe that this is a reaction to how society was actually treating fat people, or do you believe that it is like actually a molded movement by, like, in my opinion, it's more of a molded movement by social media, mainstream media, and the companies that pay them advertising dollars to allow this to foster? Because in the last, I made my first fat acceptance video like 6 years ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, because that was the first time I ever heard the term. I'm like, and I was fat. I was like, this is not healthy. Like, we can't, like, acceptance of this for like just as a person is very unhealthy, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse, right? And I'm wondering, like, in my mind, how do these people? Because and this is going to sound so mean. The only reason why anybody gives a fuck about these people is because they are given a platform to act this fucking crazy against their own best interest and the best interests of their audience. That's the only reason they are and if people don't understand this in the chat, I can tell you for sure, when you speak out against it, you are absolutely suppressed, oftentimes deleted. But when you do these things, like look at Nikado Avocado, who I guess would be considered in girl world, I don't know. But or like fucking, like, I say this all the time. The joke that Tess Holiday is considered a model, I mean, because that's a joke. Like, it's an absolute joke that she's considered a model. She's not, like, she's a sideshow attraction because models model clothing. You know what I mean? Like the idea that a model is for anything, like, models are supposed to be like literally coat racks, like clothing racks. Now the clothing rack can be of a different size, but who is she modeling clothes for? Like, and what I don't get, and like the whole, like, talking about how sexy they are and everything like that. Like,
and it's interesting because whenever clothing companies do come out with, they're like, oh yeah, we cater to plus size. Oh, well, it's not enough. It's never enough. Because what about the infinifats? What about the bigger? Like, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. And it's interesting that you mentioned how it was like 6 or so years ago. So 10, how old am I? 10, maybe 15 years ago. I was first introduced to the concept of body positivity, and it was very new to me. And there were some talking points that I did that at the time I found useful about how to think critically and like talk with your doctor about, it helped in my navigating my initial diagnosis of my Hashimoto's. But then over the past 10 years, it has just evolved into this. The fact that they try to say that it's also racist by proxy, or try to align themselves with other marginalized groups and act that speaking out against them is a form of violence, speaking out against their topic points is a form of violence. I feel like they want all the attention, but none of the responsibility. Just what it has evolved into is crazy. Not only that, but also with, like you said, the monetary backing from larger organizations, from whether it's like food industry, pharmaceutical. My endocrinologist I used to rave about, and then what was it, Lindsay, was it last year? I remember
Yeah.
telling you out of nowhere, he was pushing these, I don't have diabetes, but he's like pushing Ozempic and Wegovy and these diabetic drugs. And instead of where he used to be very comprehensive and like, okay, well, let's look at everything possible for your health and wellness. Out of nowhere, he was pushing these weight loss drugs. Or diabetic drugs. I was like, who are you? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Well, to touch on what Alan said that this is all like a molded event. Like it's all being pushed by farm. Fat people are compliant. Let's be real. Their fear of what they really know is wrong will drive them to listen to anything anyone tells them to do. But on the flip side, they have to make every excuse for it. Because they don't want to look like they're compliant. They want to look like, oh, I have blue hair and I'm a badass. That's how they want to look. But they're not like that deep down. Deep down, they're the most insecure pile of people you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why when COVID happened, they all fell in line. And, you can be on whatever side of that you want to be. I will not judge you, but don't push it on me. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll
but the problem lies with our society now wants everything fast food, fast internet, graduate from school fast. If it's not immediate gratification, they don't want it. And weight loss is hard. There is no immediate gratification. And that's why this group of people fell so easily into what they're trying to mold society into. Fat people are compliant. Fat people are controllable. Fat people die quicker. They don't want you to be alive for 90 years because you cost money for the healthcare system.
Yeah.
They want you in and out, done.
Well, I would also argue as somebody that did healthcare, not only do they want you in and out, they want to make as much money off you while you are while you're still producing, right? Like while you're still a part of the engine, like you're one of the cogs in the gears and you're actually producing. They want to get as much of that money that you're producing as possible. That's why, like Tiffany, you were talking about your doctor putting Wegovy. At the time, there was no fucking way that Wegovy was going to be covered by your insurance. That's $1,300 a month. That is a crazy ass dollar figure for 15 to 20% weight loss in a year and 4 months. That's insanity.
Yeah, and didn't you point out that some of these drugs have negative effects on people with thyroid disorders?
Yeah.
Like I literally see him for my thyroid disease.
I mean, that's what's fucked up because semaglutide is contraindicated for possible thyroid tumors. I mean, it's fucking insanity. Like it's the same thing like pancreatitis. And the biggest thing I come to with all of these drugs, like where I think, and I had somebody really get pissed off at me. They're like, you're just speaking out against these drugs because you're a competitor because of no morbidity, right? And if they think I'm a competitor for no morbidity, wait till they see product 2, because product 2 is going to put metformin in the fucking chain. I'll say it right here, right now. It's literally going to like it's legal, better metformin without side, in my opinion. I can't make the claim, but in my opinion it is. But anyway, the thing about it is all these drugs are contraindicated with people that have depression. And name me like to try to claim like anybody that's being injected with this shit on a weekly basis for their weight loss has not had depression or is not clinically diagnosed with depression. I would argue that that's not even, I would argue that almost every doctor that is prescribing these drugs to very large people with the hope that it will take weight off of them is in fact medically negligent or committing malpractice, as they are prescribing this drug to people that are completely not actually viable to have it. Like they have depression, right? Not to mention that, but I mean, just as a big thing, most of these people, there's a very serious correlation between wokeness and fat acceptance and wokeness and the injection of an experimental therapy that was just developed in the last couple of years to protect people against a cold. And my thing about that is, I don't believe any research has been really done on the experimental therapy to begin with, but yet alone when you have that in your system and then you're taking all sorts of other crazy shit like Ozempic, like the possible contraindications are radical. Like I would rather stick with ancient methods with modern techniques, and use herbs and everything like that, like supplements. But I don't my thing is people are going to prescribe Ozempic no matter what, and people are going to use my product or other products we come up with. It's not a competition. I just want people to get healthy. And if Ozempic can help people, great. Ozempic can't help these people. I mean, I think they've all tried it at some point in time.
And to your point about them again, the common denominators that we see on either, whether they're on one side of the coin or not, whether they're wanting to lose weight or, claim that intentional weight loss is fat phobic. So many of them, I mean, glitter and lasers like Anna, April, Amber, like the TikTok people, they always are like eventually crying or upset or something's clearly wrong. Like they try to say that everything's perfect, everything's positive. Again, whatever they're trying to push, everything's great. They're all good. Nothing's wrong with them. Don't criticize them. Yet why are they always like crying?
Be proud of my minimal effort. Be proud, proud. I'm so sick of the word proud. It makes me want to vomit.
I'm sick of the word grateful.
Oh God.
I actually had a thought about this when I was looking through TikTok videos and stuff like that on YouTube. A lot of these fat activists, right? They talk about self-care and like, I need to heal myself and I need to do this and I do that. But when you look at the advice they give everyone and what they preach and what they put out there, it's like, okay, I need to heal myself, but you need to do the work so I don't feel bad. You need to do X, Y, and Z so it does not affect me so I can heal myself. It's like, ma'am, if you want to heal yourself, maybe stop projecting onto everyone around you and actually heal what's inside of you. You are not okay. Why are you so angry all the time? Why are you
and defensive?
It's because their validation, their validation comes from those around them. They have, like I said, they're insecure. We have a group full of people who are so hurt and so insecure and so fragile. The only form of validation they get is from the outside. So if you're not validating them, they're on a war path to get that validation. And I'm sorry, but fuck your validation. I don't have to validate anybody but my children and my husband.
Oh, sorry. Or if you're succeeding at anything and they see that and they go, oh, well, that's fat phobic. That's XYZ. That's all the ists and phobias and whatever, the bullshit. Because it's like they don't want you to succeed because they can't do what you are doing and they refuse to put in the work you are doing to get to your goal. That's what they're trying to do. And it really pisses me off.
I think they all start off as like, especially the YouTube ones all start off as like, I'm going to share my life, vlog my life and try to be healthier. And then they just eventually get to body positivity. Like April Lauren is like she's 3 months away from claiming full on body positivity, plus size bullshit. Like, I mean, I really believe that because like, I think she's actually regained weight and it's going to be undeniable. And she's going to, like, if you read her comment section, like the only comments that are allowed on her comment section, which I have no problem with anybody curating their comment section. It's your platform. You can curate it how you want. But the only ones she's allowing are people that are like talking about how awesome she is. And I find that to be very, for somebody that has obviously very clear problems mentally, like, because she's way more concerned about being famous than she is about like getting healthy. And I think that's for all of them. Like, to give avenue to some of these people is crazy. There was a Tess Holiday video this morning. Did you guys watch my live about the 60-minute farm ad? Did you guys see that video?
Yes. 60
Minutes just recently did an ad, basically a paid advertisement for Ozempic and Wegovy. Okay, semaglutide, from Novo Nordisk. And in there, real quick, the announcer, even stated that there was, that Novo Nordisk was a sponsor for the video, and the two doctors that they spoke to were people that helped develop the drug. So there's obviously monetary whatever. And in there, the one doctor talks about how genetics is almost the biggest portion of obesity, that it's not really in the person's control, and this medication can stop it. Although I find it funny that this medication works on hunger the same way no morbidity does, which means it's absolutely fucking about what you put in your mouth. I mean, it's like, Julian, 1 second. But it's like, I saw Tess Holiday celebrating this one little clip of this lady on her TikTok stating like how it's all genetic. And that there's many health problems with being obese. But she's celebrating this and seeing like, see, it's all genetic. So which is it? Is being obese actually bad for you and it's not in your control? Or is it not anything to be worried about? And if you're fat, be happy. Like, because she oftentimes talks about how it's no big deal, eat what you want, treat your body right, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, they're so hypocritical about anything, like anything at all. It's hard to even keep up with them. And that's a big wokeness thing too, where they just layer so much layers of bullshit on top of it that it's hard to actually keep track, because like you state, well, this is obviously ridiculous. Like they'll add another layer of bullshit onto it. Like it's almost irrelevant. So Julian, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, have you guys seen the duet with Marissa and her trying to push this one dietitian that's like, genetics is 75% of the problem, and you can't have full control of your body, and you can influence it, but you can't have full control. And Marissa took that, and now she constantly, well, not constantly, but like she pushes it's 75% genetics. You can't lose weight. Like that's not how it's gonna work. No one can do it. And I think that's stupid. That's false information. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
That's what I would say, misinformation right there.
I
Labeling
hate that word, though. I
something-
fucking can't stand that word.
Labeling something genetics is so reaching. I mean, because there's so much that goes into genetics. It's not as easy as just saying it's my genetics. There is so much that plays into that. So much that plays in your metabolism. So much that plays into the world around you. Like genetics is just a term. Yeah, there's no weight to that at all.
The actual doctor that Tess was talking about, talking about the genetics thing, said something like, if you're the child of two obese parents, genetically you're more inclined to be obese. Here's the thing: how did it start? Okay, like show me. Like I would love to have a sit down conversation with any of these doctors, because I would destroy them. Because show me where the genetics changed. Because when I was growing up, nobody was fat, right? So when did we breed all these fat people that then bred other fat people? Sean, probably maybe towards the end, but not right this second. Okay, because we're talking about like I invited these people on. Maybe I'll invite people on afterwards, but and I will definitely do a different video where I invite people on, but maybe not just yet. But like, when did the genetics change? For these folks, when did we actually where does that come from? Where's your data to show that it's genetics? And where's your data to show that these people are fat because of their genetics and it's not actually their fucking lifestyle?
Well, and genetics, aren't they supposed to make life better? Aren't we supposed to adapt in a positive manner for survival, not go backwards? It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
I have not.
You guys should fucking watch it, because it's like a fucking prophecy about what's happening right now. But it's basically that somehow this like stupid fat men breed with stupid fat women in predomination. Predomination is not even a word, probably, but predominantly they breed with stupid fat women, stupid fat men. Everybody becomes fat and stupid. It's like Wall-E. That
makes more sense.
it's like the Wall-E thing. The more technological, we're about to be the first species that stupids ourselves out of existence. And I mean, people joke we could very seriously have like population collapse really easy. Everybody's like, we're overpopulated. Like, well, if two people get together and they have one baby, like Crystal and I have one child, but if two people get together and have one baby, that's a reduction. And a lot of these people, like, we're at a stage now where, like, could you imagine Amberlyn Reed having a fucking child? Like, I'm sorry.
But
like,
go ahead.
Even
with like Tess Holiday, and again, we've spoken earlier about how a lot of these people have this affinity for attention. Like they have this it's not even that they want to be the main character. They want to be like this hyper omniscient, like the only right person main character. And then you've got Tess with her kids. And what does she do? She brings her kid on camera to is mommy fat? Do people love mommy? Like everything is brought back to her, to the attention's put on her, normalizing her obesity, normalizing her behaviors, mukbangs with her kids, or I don't know if she did like full on mukbangs, but like just dipping your toes into the world of like taste testing food on camera for the internet. Like I can't imagine I can't imagine her having kids when I see what Tess is like with hers.
I mean, it's sad. I feel bad for Tessa's kids, and people get pissed at me when I say that. Like, I'm not supposed to feel bad for this fucking clearly fucking woman who's addicted to food and fame, who is gonna they are gonna know. Like, and this is one of my points. This is in my first book. They're gonna grow up after she's dead, knowing that she loved food more than them, because she won't
even allow them to talk about health in her house because she doesn't want her kids
Exactly.
to
Do you think
know
mommy's
about-
out playing soccer with those kids? Do you think mommy's out going to the mall, walking all day? Do you think mommy's, we saw her face at Disneyland.
Yeah.
She
Oh my
couldn't
God.
even
Yeah.
she couldn't even walk, and I don't even think her kids were there that day.
Yeah, they
the-
were.
they
Yeah,
think
the one was.
walkable downtowns and walkable cities is fat phobic. There was one, I think her name's Jordan on TikTok. She was the one who was talking a lot about the whale that I think you may have reviewed or
Oh,
I sent
yes.
to you.
yes.
Yeah, talking a lot about how, oh, well, Wally's fat phobic. And yeah, there are people who are like Wally, and you should fight for them and respect them. It's you don't even want to walk.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. That's sad. Like and I always bring up like it's abuse to have a super morbidly obese child that you're not doing something about. Like, and I saw somebody, but genetics do have implications for energy regulation, metabolism. Yes, but they don't control what you put in your mouth. Some people have it harder. Like, I'm not even saying it. Tiffany, you've got thyroid issues. It's harder for you than other people. That's the reason to try
Right.
to be healthier. That's not the excuse.
Yes, absolutely.
You know
And
what I
even when
mean?
you look at genetics, like my husband, I've shown you photos of him, and he has his own channel as well. But he is in excellent shape, and he's helped me
Excellent
tremendously.
shape.
Excellent shape. As soon as I met him, he really helped me, and he's encouraging me. He's not enabling me. He's encouraging me on my wellness journey, and he knows that with my thyroid disease, I do have to work harder. But his genetics, his family has a history of obesity, and he does not. I don't know. Does that make him fat phobic? He's like, I do not want to be like that. So, I mean, yeah, there's an example that maybe there's genetics, but it doesn't mean that it's a life sentence.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. Go ahead, Julian.
I was gonna say, Tiffany, just like you, my family, I don't know what it's called, but we always have one fat person in the generation. And when I mean fat, I mean like really fat. But my family is also one of those families where it's like, no, we know one of us is going to be fat, so everyone better get healthy. Everyone was active as a kid. When I was really chunky as a kid, my dad put me on all sorts of diets. Didn't work. I finally found one on my own, but got me to go out, exercise, do active stuff with me. So when I see people like Tess, where it's like, oh, we're gonna ban the word health in our family, we're going to do, like you said, do taste testings and whatever. And I bet those taste testings are going to be junk food. It's not going to be healthy food. I'd like to see kids try, new fruits and veggies on camera,
That's right.
not candy, not burgers, not any of that. But in my mind, I go, do you not want your kids to have a better life? Do you not want them to be active?
For a lot of people today, kids are props. Like Tess Holliday's kids are props. Like she was just going through the thing where my child was thinking about cutting their hair because people were misgendering them. Like, your child is like fucking like 6. Like, why the fuck are we even having this discussion? Like, first of all, talk about a made up story that you did just for fucking internet, just for the internet. Like, your child is sick of being misgendered and might cut their hair. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, how often does your child have interaction with this person? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like, do they have
ridiculous.
access to her TikToks, or is she sitting there reading? Is she? I mean, look, maybe it's because I grew up in the '90s. I'm used to guys having long hair. Like, how? I mean, I really don't think that this is, like you said. I think she is kind of using that as a proper for drama. Again, like, they're addicted to attention, the drama. Like, but everything's perfect, even though they're always in drama.
Right. But should like, and I know this gets people upset. Like, should Amberlynn have it? Like, I think Amberlynn got upset because she had to have a hysterectomy because of the cancer, right? Which, statistically speaking, she gave to herself with her obesity and what she was eating. Should she have even had a child? Like, can you imagine being like Amberlynn Reed having a child? Like fucking April Lauren. No offense, but she says she's losing weight to get pregnant. You're a 38-year-old woman who can't control your weight past 260, 270 pounds. And that's literally doing everything to lose weight. You probably shouldn't have a kid, because the kid will suffer. I mean, the kid will suffer the fact that you want to be famous and stuff like that. Like, and I'm not trying to be the gatekeeper of who can't have children. I'm just saying, like, if you think losing weight is hard, be a parent. And people just don't take parenthood seriously at all anymore, in my mind. But at the same time, these people, like, I think that it would be detrimental to the person, some of these fat acceptance people having a child. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like April Lauren gets pregnant. She'll gain fucking 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds in her pregnancy, never be able to take it off. And then, like, with the effort she supposedly has to show to lose weight now, she then has to use that effort to take care of a baby. What the fuck?
And
I mean,
also to your point about what responsibilities do they have now? So many of these people, their jobs are being fat online. That's what their jobs are. They don't have traditional jobs, which is okay. Like, fine. There's so many jobs now that are not traditional, but I hear now that kids, in high school or middle school are like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up,
God.
which is like, okay, whatever. That's a whole other conversation. But April, Amber, like, so all the TikTokers, like, how many of them, Chantal, their income is based off the attention that they get online from either maintaining or gaining their weight. April, her Vlogmas, I think, was really eye-opening to a lot of other issues that she has. I mean, look, a lot of our lives are probably boring, but to be proud of yourself for pushing through the fact that your shoelaces came untied on your walk, like, I don't know if you're that resilient. I don't think you're that resilient of a person to then be talking about how you're made to be a mom. But again, like you said, not trying to gatekeep who can and can't be parents, but like,
yeah, it's really hard for me to say who can and can't be parents. When I look at Foodie Beauty and Amber Lynn Reed, I automatically say no. Let me just put it that way. Those are extremes. When I look at April Lauren, I don't want to say no, because when I had I never thought I was going to have kids. When I had my first child, it changed me as a person. I mean, life kind of just snaps into perspective and you become what you're supposed to be. I can't say it does that for everyone, but
I was going to say
for her.
for you, that might have happened. And I know that that happened for me too. Like, I mean, the entire concept where, I met my son when he was like 5.5, but like my whole world, like I made the conscious decision to change my whole world. Right. And I just don't think that a lot of people can do that. I think that in today's society, especially, like, people's baby is their social media following. Like, that's these people's baby. Like, look how viscerally, like, April reacted to, like, when she, like, lost a little bit of fucking following. Like, when it started getting pointed out that she was in fact lying, because I've proved multiple times she was lying. She got, like, it's like everybody's a hater. It automatically went to the hater word. The haters, HAY is what you guys call it, and I just think that, like, for some of them, their baby is their social media following, and that an actual baby would likely take a back seat to it, or would be met with animosity or negative health aspects, because it takes away from the possibility of that.
I agree, because no mother out here can honestly look me in the face and say that when you look at your baby, you don't feel some sort of loss for the life that you had before you had a child. Like, you look at your child and you love them and you want to be around them all the time. You just want to kiss them and hug them. But then you also think, like, man, life was good back when I didn't have any kids. Everybody feels that way. It's natural. And for these women, I think it'll be heightened, because all that attention they got, I don't get that attention, and I'll still miss my life before. But can you imagine taking all that attention away and just not having it? It's not going to be it's not going to be good for them at all.
And I mean, not everybody's meant to be a parent. Like, I'm a big believer in that. I mean, I know for some people it does change their lives, but, like, when you look at these folks, they don't even parent their channels well, or their audience well. I have a hard time believing that they would be good parents. Now, I mean, we can move on from the whole parenting thing too, because, like, I don't want to be harping on the fact that these people are such dumpster fires of lives that, they probably shouldn't have children. I do want to point out that their lives are, in fact, dumpster fires. What is with, like, people that have watched me for a while? I do really, like, I talk about my weight loss in the fact of, like, here's what I've done, blah blah blah. I'm a coach, right? But people don't necessarily, like, know my personal life, because, you know why? It's my business. Like, I mean, like, and I mean, that's what is with these folks with this absolute desire to share. Like, it's such narcissism to me. Like, I get people. I had somebody reach out today and be like, could you and Crystal do a day in the life of? Like, no, like absolutely not. Like, because first of all, that's our life together. You know, like that's for us, right? Secondly, it'd be boring as fuck. I'm in this chair, besides workouts, I'm in this chair talking to clients or doing fucking social media or something like that. Or
Exactly.
we're grocery shopping. Like we're normal people. Like
No one
people,
wants to see me argue with my cat about how much food
no.
is in their bowl. No
Oh
one
my
wants to see
God,
that.
daily.
Every
This one right
morning,
here.
I walk into that kitchen, meow, 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 and I'm
Yeah.
like, get it yourself. You know where it's
Yeah.
at. Go get it.
Yeah.
Go eat out of the bag, fatty.
Yeah, Crystal has this thing. She's like, "We need to buy cat food today." I'm like, "None of them have jobs yet." Like, I mean, like, fucking, like they're eating too much. But
They
anyway,
contribute nothing to this household.
yeah.
Get
I mean,
out.
they all do though. They're like, but anyway, I just find it to be like, who told? Like, why do so many people even give a fuck about these people's lives? Like, it makes it so. And I've been focusing on this a lot more. The people in the comments section that support these folks, that's the real cancer. Like these folks are a pinnacle of it, okay? And I honestly think like it grows underneath them and it's like props them up, right? But like when you look at it, it starts off as positive, and then once they realize that they can make money from the negative aspect of this, that's when it gets to be hard to get away. Because like as Tiffany said earlier, the mukbangs make money, the drama. Like April Lynn was literally talking about an argument she had with her husband on her last video. Crystal heard it and was like, I would be so fucking pissed at you if you talked about any of our personal conversations. And I said, don't worry, because I would be pissed at you too. Like if she came on a live with me and says like, well, we got into an argument yesterday, which by the way, we don't argue very much, but we're real fucking people. And like
The issue with her is she tries to make these awkward and really obviously like there's like they don't have good chemistry.
no.
I don't know if it's just them as people, but she tries to play it off as like cute. And I think Lindsay, didn't you even have a theory that she maybe might perpetuate or push up her husband being more of a jerk to kind of get more sympathy?
She gets
herself?
more sympathy from her audience because, oh, look at my husband. He's just so hard on me all the time. Seriously, leave that shit off there. Quit using your audience as a weapon in your own personal relationship because
that's
it's gross.
That's it too. Like, and that's why
well,
I
my
say,
audience thinks.
Oh, that's happened. I guarantee you that that's fucking happened. The audience thinks this, the audience thinks that. I guarantee you that's fucking happened. Like
it's her personality. She's a victim.
Exactly. Like I tell people all the time, like, it's not that Crystal and I don't bicker, because trust me, she's got to put up with me. And I annoy the fuck out of myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could stop. But to put that on camera is fucking crazy. I mean,
for sure. And when I say victim, I want to reiterate that. I just said that word completely wrong. Anyway, I want to rephrase that. I don't think she goes online to perpetuate being a victim. I don't think that's her goal, but I don't think she realizes about herself that she does have that victim mentality. Because anytime anyone offers any kind of constructive criticism or nice anything, she pushes back. And she needs to do a little self-reflection of, why am I so bothered by people's opinions? Why do I care? Like, keep making your videos and do your thing, girl. Yeah. Like, why she should, if you want to be online and you want to be successful, you're either going to be the victim or you're going to be the go-getter, and there's no in between.
It's very true, because it's such a polarized thing. I do see, like, just real quick, because I want to continue on with the conversation. I've got time, but I wanted to answer, like, there's a few comments going on where, like, obviously somebody's trying to be in defense or in opposition of everything we say. The one is this: the mukbangs, the mukbangs career are very different. Yes, I do understand that, where it came from. And this is the same person who was also defending the genetics of it, or saying that it's all the food. There's no high fructose corn syrup in apples or beef. Like, I mean, saying it's the food climate that's causing everybody to be fat. No, it's people's personal behavior eating those foods. Like, the level of responsibility for your body starts with you as the person. Like, I want to be very clear about that. I don't give a fuck what your genetics are. I don't give a fuck if everybody in your family line was fat. You don't need to be. You are in control of yourself. Yeah. I have yet to see anybody show me anything that predominantly makes it fat. And as for the social media aspect of, like, well, the Western society has gotten mukbangs all wrong, then that's what it was changed into by Western society. Because I can guarantee you this: what happens in a small country compared to the rest of the world is in fact not what actually is seen as. When people think of mukbangs, especially in America or UK or Australia or anything like that, they think of Nikado avocado and people sitting down and eating tons of calories. What you say it started as, or what somebody thinks it started as, is really no big thing. It's the same thing like fat acceptance was born for people to start accepting themselves for who they are so they can love themselves enough so they can get healthy. Body positivity was born so people can accept things about themselves they can't change. That's all true. What it is morphed into is some evil fucking like rhetoric of what it used to be, you know? So like the excuses are just that, excuses. So it wouldn't surprise me if this person was also a fat acceptance person who's trying to fucking make excuses. But anyway, it's what we have to do with. What were we talking about? I just wanted to answer that real quick.
I feel like this conversation is strayed away from girl world and has gotten into just plain old like, you know, talk, which is fine. But like, is anybody aware that Foodie has been like no show for like 24 hours after raging online in a country that prohibits raging online, like harassing people?
So here's the thing.
After being accused of SA.
Yeah.
She's
Wait, what?
okay. So Foodie's in Kuwait. Side note to anyone here, I'm actually from Kuwait. The laws about raging online, like you can't slander anyone online. That is actually true. And if you're a public figure, it's even worse. But she not only raged, not only doxed a private person, full government name,
She called
based
that
on the
lady a
internet.
whore.
She called her a whore. She said that she was gangbanged by the people living there, spit roasted and all that stuff. But she also doxed her place of work, said all sorts of stuff about her husband. And then that was just one
Accused
string.
him of borderline adultery.
Yes, accused him from borderline adultery. And then she went on the rage stream, I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or day before, where she was talking about, oh, there's ways around having a civil ID in Kuwait. And I'm like, man, you're already in hot water.
Yeah.
The people you've pissed off have actual lawyers talking to him, like in private, about how to go about this, responding back to you online. That should tell you already you're in trouble, and people are taking their steps very carefully because they might land you in the clink. But
so what?
She doesn't learn her mistakes.
What did these people do for her to start saying this shit about them?
Be normal people who
be normal people. The woman was a woman. The woman is actually a fairly attractive Filipino woman.
She's more attractive than her. Yeah.
Oh no, that's the mistake. You can't be more attractive than.
Can't be attractive.
Queen.
Can't be smaller. You can't be able to work around, cook food. Hang out with other people. Well, Foodie went there and just stirred the pot. Now, if people are not familiar with Middle Eastern cultures, when
she bought a husband from Kuwait
because she wanted a husband.
She swears it's love, but after a month, she flew her ass to Kuwait. Now she's wearing. Oh, never mind.
Literally,
it doesn't matter.
I cannot.
She's wearing a hijab. She's tried a niqab. She says she's going to revert, but she doesn't. She says, oh, I'm being a good Muslim. I'm doing this, that, and the other, when in fact, she isn't. And I can tell, I'm not Muslim, but I can tell you literally everything she's doing, even down to her intentions, is haram.
She's making a mockery.
It is. Yeah. It's a mockery.
Aren't Muslim women supposed to be, isn't it about modesty?
It is. And as I was saying, with
the
Middle
queen
Eastern
of modesty.
Oh, yeah.
And
the thing I was saying was
queen of modesty.
The thing I was saying with Middle Eastern cultures is women need to be able to get along with other women, because when people hang out, the men go separate and the women go separate.
Yes.
And if you fuck up with the Kiki group, you're kicked out and you have no friends.
Exactly.
Have none.
It's so true, because like the men do run the show there. Women are kind of side characters, but at the end of the day, the women run the show behind the scenes. And if you're not in with that female group, yes, it's just like in that movie, the My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where she says the woman is the neck and can turn the head. It's so true. And she fell out with that female group. Oh man, I can just picture Foodie sitting in that tent in Kuwait, sweating her balls off, saying, "I make 6 figures on YouTube. I'm this, I'm that." She doesn't have a humble bone in her body, and those women obviously don't like her.
Wow.
So
So she could actually be in like trouble. Like,
Oh yeah, she put this woman's picture as her thumbnail, called her a whore. Like, I mean, she
oh
was just
shit.
going
Fuck.
off, spilling all of, like, said where she worked. She said that, and she emphasized she had, like, it was disgusting. She goes, there are 4 black men living in her house, and it's like, okay, why they got to be black? First off, second off, what? You're accusing these people of adultery. She accused them of like,
And that's like a
foreign
very
countries.
serious crime over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yes.
it's extremely serious.
Sorry
Like
if you already
it's,
said, but did you already say like what was the potential consequences of? Because I know all these women, they don't
I
ever
think
think about
it's like
consequences, but-
$44,000 fine, and she can get
Wow.
detained and something of the sort. $44,000 fine. I think for the slander, but for all the rest of the bullshit, especially if she is allegedly conspiracy, whatever, she isn't married legally,
Wow.
and she's not in Kuwait. It's in Kuwait. If a woman and a man stay together in a household, they have to be married or related. You cannot, it is illegal for a man and a woman who are not married or not related to be in the same household. Like bachelors have their own thing. There's a whole ass bachelors buildings and communities and whatever. So if she is not legally married to Salad Boy, she can get in some real trouble, especially when she's stirring the pot. She's
Exactly.
creating more trouble for herself.
And
Oh shit.
she gave us all the proof that we need. I mean, we've seen chaperones in videos. We've, because they're following the same person around. They're only coming out at night. They don't do anything during the day unless they have a chaperone with them. And there's so many little clues to show that she is not legally married to him. And you know what? Do I want Chantal to go to a prison in Kuwait? Hell no. Because where will the show be?
Exactly.
The trap door will be empty, Tiffany.
Yeah.
So she needs to bees her way to the airport and leave Kuwait and not go back and just hope that this is the end. I mean,
And can I
girl,
just say, I
gotta
appreciate
go.
so much, Lindsay, how the humor that you bring to Girl World.
Yes.
Like everyone, please go check out her videos. Like
Her videos are funny.
The-
They're just
Foodie riding around on the ATV.
I enjoy it.
Like with the snoring and the like. I
Poor Peanut.
yes.
Poor Peanut.
Lindsay definitely brings a lot of humor to, again, like obviously this whole conversation, there's a lot of serious topics and the stuff that like like I get worked up about some stuff because it affects our lives personally. But yeah, Lindsay, I appreciate how much the humor that you bring to
Well,
make it lighthearted.
That I appreciate that, because humor has always been the way that I've dealt with things, and right, wrong, or indifferent, it's got me through a lot of shit. So I always try to make people laugh first and foremost.
I love your videos. I think you do a good job of it. I really do. Like I get a kick out of it. I like how they're short. Like I got to be real, because I don't watch a lot of you. I watch you guys. Like the people I talk to are the people I follow. That's normally the people I watch. And then I get sent videos. Somebody asked what your channel name is. It's that Lindsay with an A.
I've linked it in the chat.
That's Lindsay with an A, and it's linked in the chat. Yeah. But the concept that like this, it's built like a little subculture. Like that's something that Amberlyn Reed and they've all talked about, is the reaction channels. Like they get upset at reaction channels, but meanwhile like I personally don't watch videos made about me. Like we had some fucking whack nut on here not too long ago that apparently makes videos about me. Like I couldn't even fucking pick him out in a lineup. I don't watch videos about me, because I mean, to me, they're just free advertisement. I mean, they really are, and say what you want to say. I'm the type of person like refute what I want to refute. I think these guys get upset because it's about they put their lives out there. So therefore it's about their lives. Right.
Yep.
At what stage does the audience bear responsibility, and like even reaction channels bear responsibility? Like I think reaction channels do a good job of trying to counter the balance. Like pointing out the ridiculousness of this is important. I think when people don't like actually react viscerally to this type of thing, very negative thing happen. Somebody earlier in the chat asked us to talk about some unfortunate happenings, like Life by Jen. Like Life by Jen died because she ate herself to fucking death. I had somebody tell me she didn't eat herself to death. So it was this, like, she's 600 some fucking pounds. She ate herself to fucking death.
And
She
a lot
most
of
definitely did.
a lot of the reactors were actually very kind to Life by Jen because Life by Jen was trying. She was trying, and when she was going through rough patches, people backed off. People were like, okay, we'll give you space. You need to get better. We won't bother you. Well, reaction channels I know backed off. But yeah, no, sometimes, not sometimes,
See,
but
to me,
most
see, to me, that's a mistake.
to back
And
off.
I hate to say that, but I think at this stage in society, when people want negative criticism of themselves backed off, like when people do that, like for a lot of these people that are so far gone, like Life by Jen's so far gone, somebody should have been standing next to her bed, like, don't eat that.
Well,
Don't
I
do
think
that.
what
Well,
she means by backed off is that Foodie, when people react to Foodie, she bites back. Like she
Yeah.
fights, she's mad, she gets nasty, she reacts. Life by Jen didn't have that. She would react a little bit, but she didn't give what they call the milk, like they call them cows, and she didn't deliver the milk. Okay, Foodie is a cow that bites back. Okay, so Life by Jen was not. And so I think people kind of just left her to her own. Now, there were people that still talked about health even when she was going through it, which is fine. That's to your point, Alan. That's what I agree with. Yes, we should still be talking about her health. We should still be talking about all these things to keep the narrative going. But she didn't bite back, and Foodie bites back, and that's why she has rose the level that she has, because people love nothing more than going rounds on the internet. You know.
Yeah. And
Wrong,
also,
right, or indifferent, people just love it. And I've had to pull myself back and be like, okay, wait, Foodie doesn't live with me. Foodie's not my sister. Foodie's not my mom. Foodie's not this. Why do I care? Oh, that's right. It's because it's like a show, like it's trapdoor, like Tiffany said. So that's why I firmly believe in watching the cows. You got to stay outside the pasture.
That's
we got
the thing I was gonna
too many
say. Yeah.
people getting in the pasture, running with the cows. You're not a goat, girl. Get out. You got to stay out of the pasture.
Some reaction
And
channels
they go too far.
Yeah,
they take it personally, like it's a personal vendetta against me, and it's not.
No,
Foodie's gonna bite back at whoever sticks their hand past the gate. It doesn't matter who it is, unless you're a man.
Unless you're a man, which
men.
she's gonna watch this because you put her picture in the thumbnail, and you're a man, so she's definitely gonna watch this, and then she's gonna shit talk the three of us because we're women.
Not you.
But not you. You're fine. At most, she'll say you're bald. That's it.
I'll be like,
but she'll take a look at your
hat was
bald acceptance shirts in the
she'll take a look at your picture on YouTube, and she'll go, ooh, he's got muscles. He's bald, but he's got muscles. I'm not
just
going to
like
say
she did
shit.
to Papa Swolio.
He's talking to me. He wants me.
Yeah, if he's talking to me, he wants me. Don't give her any extra sauce either. She'll be, oh God, your cat's name is Awesome Sauce. She's really gonna love you.
Oh, she really likes sauce, especially gravy.
Well, she came on. She came on the one live I talked about her, and I was like, and my biggest thing for all these people is they should get off the internet and get some help. Amberlynn Reed shouldn't be on the internet. April Lauren shouldn't be on the internet. Foodie Beauty shouldn't be on the internet. And the actual monetization of this shit is the negative stuff. Like April's at the stage right now. Like she just had a monetized video. Her last video was monetized, and I think I thought she was going to take a longer break. I bet you she had a contract signed, and it forced her to make a video, and she just threw that shit together. But I mean, the thing is, because that's how that shit works. Just in case you guys don't know, like they reach out to you, you sign a contract, you have X amount of days to get the contract done. They send the first part of it up front. So if you don't get it out in time, they can not only take that money back, but take the entirety of the contract back. So they would actually make money off of you. You know what I mean? For a lot of these sponsorships, right? And I just think that like the monetization of these types of things is just super, super, super bad. Like if you've lost it, like for some people, when they lose weight and then they talk about it, fine. Like I like to make it much more about my coaching. I hated being like a fitness person, like a YouTube fitness guy, because then they're like, well, what about your body? What about your training and shit like that? And there's a couple things about that. First of all, like one thing that Crystal and I have learned for our coaching is that like I would help each one of these people. If I was their last resort and I had to help them, I would approach each one of them completely differently. But it's the same thing for fitness too. Like the way I work out is very different than the way like you guys work out. Tiffany, it's very different than the way your man works out. Like, and it's different for everybody because people have different likes, dislikes, lives, everything like that, right? But for some of these people, like when your job is to lose weight online and you show weight regain of any kind, you should immediately quit, because it is an extremely toxic environment. And the monetization of those negatively toxic behaviors are in fact going to be your demise, because
Yeah,
we don't
because
live.
people
Go
watch
ahead.
when you're struggling. People
Yep.
want to watch when you're struggling. They don't want to watch. I mean, they'll watch for a while when you're succeeding,
Mhm.
but once you've hit that final goal, they're gone.
Mhm.
Half your audience is gone.
Well, especially for women, and this is just being super honest, for women, if you are going to be super positive all the time, you better have great ass, great legs, six pack, and fabulous fucking fake boobs and hair done every single day. Like if you're going to be a super positive person, you better look like the fucking literally a combination of a fitness model, fashion model, and a scientist all together. It's ridiculous if you only want to stay positive. And most of them, by the way, do not look that way when you meet them in person. They don't look like that. They don't look like that at all. They literally don't, And I just got to be for other the super. That's why April's having such a hard time. You cannot be toxically positive and not show results. You can't, because the audience she has with her are the type of people. They are going to love her no matter absolutely what she fucking does. Like the people that love the super toxic positivity, they're just looking for somebody to say everything's awesome, everything's okay, and we're good. That's all they want. And that can be just as negative. That's more negative, if you ask me, than the fucking than the negative aspect of it. Like the people pointing out, even the people that call them cows and stuff like that. That's the toxic positivity and the supporting of that is way more negative, because it doesn't get them to rationalize anything out.
No, they don't have any conflict resolution.
Exactly.
They can't deal with internal demands or pressures. And so then the external demands and pressures are even more fragile. The toxic positivity is like that's not helpful in the least, because then it's everything you do is good and great, and there can't be any type of conflict.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, I wonder, I really do wonder, at what stage does it become very clearly evident that we actually need these types of things? We need people to say, no, this is not good. I mean, the problem is, and they don't, at no point in time does YouTube allow this shit. I have had more videos removed and put in I get demonetized, removed. I'm very clearly suppressed. They pick and choose the topics to an absolute great degree, and I find it kind of crazy.
Is Eugenia? Is she? I haven't looked into her in a while, but I know she's obviously other end of the spectrum. I feel like I've seen videos of her on Twitch. Is she monetize on YouTube still, or does she?
I'm pretty sure she is.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'll check it out, because I'm pretty sure she is.
Because I know a lot of the talking points that we use for health and concern, even sometimes the health at every size folks, where they're like, oh, you're fine at 500 pounds. Some of the comments, again, that they ignore, they'll say, oh, well, is someone like Eugenia Cooney fine?
I am on Eugenia Cooney's latest video, and there is a progressive ad on it. So not only is she monetized, she is premium ad monetized. And
go ahead.
There's multiple ads on it. So yeah.
Yeah, and I see in the comments someone saying they think they're invincible. I mean, yeah, we see what happened with Jen. Amber got cancer. I don't know. I don't know what the when the wake up call is going to be, but I don't even know if a lot of these women will have wake up calls, because they're just so satiated with all the attention and the drama and the money.
Well, when there's when survival is a true driver. Okay. These people have found a way to survive and have been able to survive in a way that's extremely unhealthy, because they're just surviving. They're not living. And it's just nobody. I would never, ever, ever want Amberlynn Reed's life. No amount of money would be worth her life. the same Foodie Booty, everything like that. Although, I mean, let's all these people need very serious mental help. Like, I mean, and I'm not a mental health professional. It just shows that like they need very serious mental help. And somebody just pointed out, reminded the study I talked about the other day, where they all eat garbage food that, when eaten in large quantities, does negatively affect your mental health. I mean, it's now scientific fact, And so they're not going to make good decisions. And as long as they're unable to, like what we're viewing with these people, unless something dramatic fucking happens, this is not going to get better. It's going to get way worse before it gets better. Like we have full on, like big companies doing the whole body positive shit right now.
Oh yeah, Ulta with what was it, Virgie Tovar?
Yeah,
wasn't she recently sponsored or had a deal with Ulta, the beauty? What was it, the beauty?
Yes,
fatness?
Virgie Tovar, the woman who did a video about how we shouldn't look at her folds. Remember, she had gunk in her folds, and she thought it was beautiful. Yeah,
Ulta, and the CRFI,
the cake-related fat incident.
Isn't she also one that said like capitalism is the biggest problem or something like that? Was that
I'm
her?
Sure she did.
I love how capitalism's huge. Capitalism's a huge problem until you get sponsored by Ulta.
But capitalism is what's keeping them fat. That's what I don't understand. Yeah. It's like they complain about capitalism, but it's like, okay, grab your phone, scroll. You can get food, you can get your clothes, you can get your makeup, you can get whatever you need, and that's all through capitalism. And then they go, oh, capitalism is this and that, and that's keeping me fat. Well, yes.
Well, with the number of fat activists that have died in the last year or so, I mean, it's been quite a few. A lot of them, none of them. I think the oldest one was 52. I mean, I say this a lot. The life expectancy, most of these people should consider themselves elderly. Like they're way, like I'm going to live way more years than all these people, and I am older right now than most of them will probably ever get to. Right? If that doesn't like all these people dying, if that doesn't, they all just gloss right over it. Like it's not even really brought up and to a great degree, death of younger people has become a very normalized thing, unfortunately, in society. And I just think that like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I have no. Like I see none of them stopping there. And if anything, like I think that Foodie Beauty herself, with the stuff you guys have told me today about the whole bullshit with the Kuwait thing, they feel like they can, like there's no sense of responsibility or anything like that. Like to take things to this extreme is for society not to just look at Amberlynn Reed and be like, what the fuck? Get the fuck off the internet, you fat fuck. I'm sorry, but like I know that sounds mean, but holy fuck. Like stop wasting your energy talking online about how fucking shitty your life is and go fucking do something about your life. Like I have this phrase that I say all the time that people laugh at. It's called I say life sucks by a helmet. Because like fucking life can be fucking tough. The problem is for a lot of these people, it's not. I mean, these people can revel in being as ridiculous and foolish and childish and self-destructive as possible and get paid. And I think it's a very negative thing. And we're at the stage now where people that would have been a circus fat woman, like, only 50 years ago are on runways, like as models. The entire concept that somebody like Lizzo can come onto her social media and state, I don't make music for a whole fucking race of people and also eat whatever the fuck you want. And then also, by the way, buy my shapewear. Like, it's like it's just common sense.
The messages are really muddled. And it's interesting as I was looking through the screenshots from Amberlynn's recent Instagram post. She mentioned, because I can't remember if we were talking about like, healing yourself in therapy and like sorting your shit out. And someone asked, what have you learned from being in therapy for almost a year? And she responded that therapy truly might not be for everyone. As helpful as a crying session might be in the moment, it's not the heal. I'm not sure it's healing what I need it to.
Is she actually in therapy? Or is this her internet therapist?
I'm not sure, but it sounds like from this response that she is not finding therapy beneficial or doesn't see the benefit of it for her. I'm not sure it's healing what I need it to. So I mean,
if she knows what needs healed, You know?
Yeah.
Fucking, she's been seeing a Hayes therapist, a healthy at every size therapist, which I don't even understand. Like that's another big portion that points out a huge portion of society that's a big problem right now for these folks and for Girl World and why Girl World, like I guarantee you, Girl World's going to get bigger. There's going to be more of them. Absolutely. April Lauren's going to be in Girl World. Like technically to me, she already is because of the ridiculousness of it, but she's going to go full on body positivity, and body positivity is Girl World. Like these people that don't want to fucking actually accept responsibility for their lives and just want to glutton themselves and make excuses and all this bullshit. Like, I really believe that that's the issue. I believe that that's going to be that's a huge part of the problem. And the even mere acceptance of things like, don't weigh me at the doctor's office. If your doctor doesn't weigh you and talk to you about your weight when you walk in fat as fuck, your doctor's medically negligent, in my opinion. But
yeah, what do they do? They say, I will step backwards on the scale and don't tell me the number. And I don't even know if it was real or if it was a skit. But there was a video floating around of a woman getting very upset because she was given a menu that had calories on it. And that's what I mean when I talk about the conflict resolution and like not being able to deal with life and things that are different in life. And just because something is outside of what you think reality should be, like you should be able to go into the world and not go into hysterics because you see calories on a menu.
Agreed. It's always someone else's fault. There's always someone else to blame. They can never just look at themselves and be like, wow, I see calories on a menu. Why does that bother me so much? Not, you shouldn't be doing that. It should be, why does that bother me? And they can't do that.
I mean, I agree. It's a very weird thing, like how none of society should do anything that causes them to have an issue. The stepping on the scale backwards thing, absolutely ridiculous. So if you know that number is so fucked up that you don't want to know it, you really need to fucking know it. Like the dismissal of reality for a lot of these folks is in fact their biggest issue. Like the Girl World people, we were talking about that one girl who talks about the acting and the actors, the fat suits and stuff like that. She's oftentimes she's a TikTok person more than other, but like, so we're at the stage where even your pretend can't in any way reflect you. Like the one dude who I guess would be in part of Girl World, but he's like, all fat suits look bad. They should never be used. You should hire a fat actor to play a 600-pound person. You stupid fuck. Like, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
There's no solution. There's no solution. I've been really paying attention to a lot of the commentary and critiques that they have about the whale. And it's like, well, there's other fat stories. And this is portraying fat people in a negative way. And then people are like, well, isn't it potentially one aspect of a 600 pounds life? Like, it's a fictional story, but why is this not a possible reality to show in a movie or in a play or whatever? Oh, well, it's telling it negatively. Oh, well, nothing will make them happy because they're constantly coming back with, well, it shouldn't be told. Or if it is told, it should be told from and with a fat person. And if you can't find a fat person, you shouldn't. Like, I don't know what the solution is because they want representation. I've heard a lot of them talk about representation in many aspects of media. But at the same time, they only want it in a very curated, very positive, specific way.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you want representation, shouldn't it actually represent life, like real life? Like, you're like representation of somebody like, okay, perfect example. My business partner, Mark. You want a representation of him? You better get up early in the goddamn morning, and like, you better have a cameraman ready or camerawoman ready all fucking day long, But
it's because they're trying to escape their real lives. Like, that's the problem. They're trying to escape their real life. Like, you can't tell me that a 500-pound person doesn't get up in the morning and immediately is in pain.
Oh my God.
Let's just start there.
Yeah. 500
showering.
pounds.
There's a reason why they do shower scenes in My 600-Pound Life, because it's like the biggest feat of their week. Mm-hmm. It just shows truly how bad life is. And if they're trying to escape that reality, fat people are not on movie sets because they can't be. I'm sorry. Reality exists. Fat people are now at Disney World riding rides because guess what? Reality exists. And physics exists. And if there's going to be a fat person in the front of the ride and a skinny person in the back, you can't do it. Reality exists. Science exists.
Let me tell you something. If they try to put me on a roller coaster and there's a 500-pound person in the car in front of me, I'm not getting on.
Hell no. We're going to die. It's going to be like, what's that, Final Destination? Hell no.
Yeah. I'm not getting on. And like, call me fat phobic all you want. Like, reality exists. Like, that's another thing. Like, when you're big enough where you could fall down on somebody and kill them. Like, I mean, at some point, like, you have to like accept it. Like, we should talk about these things. Like, I'm a big believer. We should be realistic and talk about these things. We should see this for what it is. My 600-pound life, while it's still scripted, I think, to a certain degree, I believe it does show a very good, serious representation of how a lot of these people, live their life. It's painful. It's horrible. It's very, very unhealthy. It is ridiculous how people want to dissuade it. Like, these people need help wiping themselves. These people need help like getting dressed and shit like that. They can't stand up and walk a while. That's why the invention of TikTok and stuff like that, them just showing themselves in a camera sitting, it's a tiny little aspect of their life. It doesn't show them moving or anything like that. Like, somebody keeps it, like, would you debate any of them? I would debate any of these people. And one of my first things would be like, would you want to take a walk and talk about it? Because if you can't talk while you're walking, I'm right. Like, and I just find, I wish so much more for these folks. It's not that I'm not mean to these people. I refuse to, that's the one thing about me. You can think I'm mean, other people can think I'm mean. If I'm one of the only voices, and people like you guys are some of the only voices that are telling these people, wake the fuck up. Like, I mean, I'm being nicer than all these people in your comment section, like, that's for fucking sure. And when you get to the stage where you have eaten yourself to such a serious problem, not accepting it is like, look at Anna. Like, this, my video yesterday shows that she's gained weight in the last year. Like, you can visibly see her fatter than she was last year. And just a few weeks ago, she did a fucking ad for the Jibby Jab. Like, we live in a time right now where it's such a dichotomy where we literally will close society down to protect people about public health and protect the healthcare system. But people are getting fatter and fatter and fatter. And then we're paying these people to talk about that. It's not reality. And she, like, for her, I look at her and I'm like, I read her comments. She's a circus sideshow.
Yeah, and she's more dangerous. She's more dangerous than Foodie and Amber because she puts on the persona and the fake reality of like, oh, look how glamorous this is. Look at all these cool clothes. Look at my makeup. Look at all these cool trips. I can go to Disney. I can do this. Okay, let's see the B-roll. Let's see you actually participating in those things, because that's what Foodie and Amber show us. If anything, Foodie and Amber are more real because they show us the ins and outs. I've seen every part of Foodie. I've seen every part of her body. I don't want to see every part of her body, but I've seen it. Oh yeah, she's shown it all, Alan. You're missing out. I've seen.
Oh, missing out. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Alan, there was an OnlyFans of her struggling to get out of the tub.
Yes, she profited off of struggling to get out of the bathtub, and the water was dyed red. Just don't even like. I'll never get that out of my mind.
Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
We're moving on. We are moving on.
Exactly.
We're going to stay on the point where I actually do agree that like, out of all of them, Amberlynn Reed and Foodie Beauty bother me the least. You know why? Because they're visibly crazy.
You can tell there's a problem. Like, you can see the suffering. You can see the intellectual decline. You can see all of these things. But like with Anna, she hides it. These TikTokers, totally. A 15-second reel is going to hide all the struggle.
And then when she does show a struggle, she makes a joke out of it. She tries to add this like comedic value, and it's like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
No.
Like, it's not ironic if it's true. And it's not funny that you're smashing your face into a cake on Valentine's Day and pretending to cry, and that you're crying about how you can't fit into these pants. Like, I just don't understand how she doesn't make that connection. But I do, to your point, I do see how it is more dangerous, because she'll every now and then come out with these videos. Oh, I had this big realization that I couldn't go on a hike when I was in Hawaii. Oh, I had this big talk I found out that I have health issues, and
I have health issues.
But like blaming both the fitness community and the body positive community. So she'll point fingers at both.
Blaming someone else. It's
But never
never like,
herself.
oh, maybe at 2 a.m. I shouldn't have eaten that bag of chips, or, you know, whatever. Or maybe I shouldn't have gone on that Disney Cruise Line voyage and eaten everything they had. Like,
Yeah,
do people
and-
not realize?
All these people will blame genetics, like the Tess Holiday thing with her blame genetics. And I've heard what's her name? Anna talk about it too. When you're that big, you're eating thousands and thousands of calories more than you're supposed to. Bar none. Like, I mean, like not one human being that weighs 400 fucking pounds is not eating thousands of calories more than what they're supposed to on a daily basis to maintain that weight. Not one. Like, I mean, reality does exist. And I just like Anna, like the fucked up thing about this is the two people out of all this shit that we've talked about the most today, because the TikTokers I think are just fucking, I mean, they're kind of like, they're fucked up, but they're like rolling into the crazy. And that little like microcosm of social media, everybody knows it's crazy. And these people just like roll on top of the craziness. Like how they've gotten to the point where they can make everything racist is amazing to me. But the two that are on YouTube that absolutely bother me the most are Anna and April. I mean, because they present this image of I'm fine, everything's good, I'm working towards something, I'm this and that, and we visibly watched them both gain weight, and the attitude, the whole positivity attitude they have, at the same time of claiming victimhood. Like how, when you have to sit down and like, what sympathetic background music can I play for this segment as I sit and talk to them about my non-scale victories? When you have to fucking find the sympathetic music to fucking edit it in.
What
It's so
badass
calculated.
music, or like what badass,
It's such manipulation.
Like intense, the music that you're gonna play whenever you're starting off on your little.
You're doing your
doing
Decca.
something mediocre and making it like epic. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
And
Like,
what's crazy is I think at one point, and I've said, and like, you know, my previous videos on April do kind of focus on more like the marketing and the manipulation and the message behind what she does. But I think at one point I used to be like, oh, wow, like her marketing is really good. And now lately I feel like I don't know if it's just because I watch her so often, but I don't know if it's that good. I feel like more and more people are seeing her slip through the cracks. I think more and more people are seeing the veil being lifted. I think she's getting a lot messier with, you know, when we talk about her marketing, her editing. So
I think she's getting tired of putting up the mask. Because when you put up the mask constantly, you're going to get tired and it's going to slip and people are going to be on the ball and be like, hey, but you did this and you said this.
Well, the mask is easy. The mask is easy to be like worn for these people until people point out the mask. Then they have to try to change what mask they're like. She's obviously tried to morph a little bit. You know what I mean? Like she's like, it's gone from like in this last 6 months, it's gone from I'm going to hit 100 pounds down, super positive, I'm great. I am going to reset, the great reset. I am going to then I now need to speed this up, because I need to have a baby, to I'm happy to maintain, I haven't gained weight. That's 6 months right there. So she's changing masks as quickly as they go. I do think that like to a certain degree, the reaction channels, you guys, and I react to some of these videos, we alter what they have to do. Like me showing that she's claiming over 100 pounds down on her website, she's changed that because she's openly lying. Like me saying like her saying I've started this 2 years ago, and Leona and myself pointing out like, no, it's not 2 years, it's been like 8 years. Like, and showing her old accounts, like this is an open, like it's the reason why she has not addressed me or her by name or anybody by name is because for her, we have actually bought true receipts, you know? For Anna, it's easy for her to just ignore people because she has such a large platform, right?
For sure.
And she can just, it gets drowned out. She pays somebody to do curation of all of her social media, those sorts of things. But to a great degree, those are the two most dangerous ones. Anna really does present herself as like, I'm super positive. You got to love yourself, but let's get a little healthier. I thought I would like when she said, because I've made positive videos about Anna before, never again. But when she said, I thought I was in perfect shape, I got so upset. Like I felt it inside myself. Like what type of, you're telling your audience that you can be 450 fucking pounds, like be wider around than you are tall as a tall woman. And you're in perfect shape. You thought you were in perfect shape.
Yeah,
Like,
that one got me too. The other one that gets me is when any of these women, and I know stress is like a relative term. I get it. I'm not trying to play the woe is me card because, I brought these children into this world. I live my life. It's all my choices. No one forced this on me. But when I see or hear them say I'm stressed, I'm just like, it sends me. I'm like, are you tired? Are you stressed? Were you up editing too late? Like that's what sends me. Like you have time to make this work. Believe me, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Well,
I do think you hit on it perfectly. Like you said a little earlier though too. Like these people wake up in pain. Like their life is they claim victimhood to a great degree because their life is tragic. The true lie is when they try to pretend that they're happy and super positive. That's why the whole like serial killer stare into the camera with April bothers the fuck out of me. Like,
yeah, that's why when like Amber and Foodie are always complaining, like, I just want it to be positive here. We can't look at you and be happy. I can't look at you who has doubled in size since being on YouTube, Amber Lynn, starting around 300 and now she's, knocking on the door of 600 at some points. Let's be real. I can't look at that and find any amount of happiness or joy. It's really hard.
See the pain. We can see the pain. We can see what's going on. Like I said, I was reviewing a video with everything Chantal has done with regards to her health. Last night, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I forgot about how her cyst doubled in size because she refused to stop eating inflammatory foods. How she kept having to push her surgery further and further away because she won't lose weight for it to work. How she had a clot and refused to take care of it. How she
her
tried
liver was the size of like 9 times a healthy liver or some shit.
It was what?
I think it was like 8 or 9 times the size of a healthy liver. Wow. And she just acts like that didn't happen. Yeah. She was wearing a red wig and everybody's like, oh my God, I love your red wig. It's so cool. Slay girl. And it's like, no. Your liver's the size of like my leg at this point.
Oh, and the diabetes, how she claims she's diabetic and then she's not. And then she fixed her diabetes and she's not. But when she occasionally slips up and lets us know her numbers, it is super high. And I'm just like, ma'am, yeah, your doctors are going to tell you that's pre-diabetic. But for a normal human being, you're already knocking on diabetes' door. That's not good. And you keep shoving fast food in your face and you know you're doing wrong. You say you're doing wrong, but then you go, but why is this food so delicious? Why can't this food be good for me? Why can't you guys just let me eat this food? Like, we're seeing what it does to you. We're seeing it. We can see you're diabetic. Look at your skin. Like, because when you're diabetic, you can actually tell by the blotches in there. We know you're diabetic.
Well, and they wonder why it's so easy for us to be hard on them because we're going round and round in circles. At some point, I have to remove my own feelings from it and just laugh. All I can do is laugh at you.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I run out of like, especially when they are just openly like, it's over and over and over again. But they're stuck here. Like, I mean, like a lot of these people, like, what the fuck is Amber Lynn Reid going to do to be able to afford food? I mean, she's talking about.
I don't know.
Going from $8,000 to, or no, not $8,000, $3,000 to 800. Now she's gonna bullet journal everything. I felt like I was watching a video from 7 years ago. Her most recent video.
Journaling strikes again.
Like not a fair
journaling.
Yeah,
she loves
Amber
the journals.
Lynn, Medicine Woman. We have Journal Lynn. We have Victim Lynn. We have Troll
Liar
Lynn.
Lynn.
All kinds of Lyns. Yeah.
Grammar Lynn.
That is a thing, though. I hear a lot of people say like Amber Lynn trolls people, like she's a big troll, and I don't understand why.
She's a manipulator. That's how she makes her coin.
Yeah, but that's not trolling necessarily.
I think they're both
kind of like. Do you mean like how people say that Nick Ocato's trolling?
Yeah.
Like how it's just a gotcha. Like gotcha. I got to 500 pounds, but
Amber is very subtle with hers, though. Amber does it very slowly, very subtly. Like you'll get it like here and there with her certain things, and then she'll be like, "Well, that was just a joke," Or I knew you guys would talk about it, so I did it that way. And it's like, yeah, we
That's
know.
not
That's
necessarily, that's not necessarily like, but to me, that's the thing is like, that's not really trolling. Like, I mean, and I'm not gonna, I'm not, it's like, I guess it's like what the term means to you, but if it fucks your own life up, it's not trolling. It is you degrading and demeaning yourself and hurting yourself for monetary value and attention. You know, it's very akin to like cutting to me. Like when people would cut and then like they would be cutters, but so their family would find out. You know, like that was a big thing years and years and
Definitely.
years ago. You
Still
know, to
is.
me, yeah, it's and to me that's a big thing. Like that's a thing where like it's not trolling when you are hurting yourself. It is you degrading yourself, and unfortunately, it's not even seen as that degrading anymore.
I think that's what she labels it to make it seem more acceptable. Like what
I
she's
agree.
doing. I'm just trolling. But hey guys, I hate to do this, but I got to get off. She's finally
Yeah.
waking up. I've gotten the ultimate ab workout. I've been sitting on the floor rocking her for an hour and a half or hour and 45
Aw.
minutes. So my butt and my abs
Aw.
are on fire.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So Lindsay and everybody, like, and we'll be on for just a couple more minutes, then we'll get off. But Lindsay, we'll probably do this. Like, I'd like to do something like this every month. We can even bring more people on and stuff like
Yeah.
that too.
And I want to be on camera next time. So I want to find a spot where I don't have kids because I like being on camera. It's a little more, real. So
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on, and then tell the baby we said hi.
I will. Have fun, guys. I'll talk to you. I'll be in the
Lindsay.
chat. I'll be
Bye.
listening.
I thought we would get to with you guys left. I thought we would scroll up just a little bit, get to a few of the questions, comments. I would like to, if you guys have any questions or any comments to state, let me know. I don't think we're going to have anybody else come on because I really only got like 15, 20 minutes left. I just wanted to get like to everything. I actually thought it was going to be an hour, and we're almost at 2 hours. So, but if anything, you got baby with an A. I love that. Baby with an A. But anyway, I enjoyed Lindsay was preaching facts. I wanted to thank you guys to come on, and like again, I think this is just such an interesting thing for as a topic of discussion because I really try to be about health, and I just view this as such an unhealthy like microcosm of the internet, and I think it's just extremely interesting how I think like it's very strange to me how dichotomous it is that people like them will generate such such a following, but most of the time it is people pointing out how negative it is, but yet social media still keeps pushing it to the point where obviously like social media is happy that people like me and you guys are, in the girl world reaction channels are doing it because it drives more money to these people, just as like Amber Lynn should be happy that people react to her channel, because if not, people wouldn't watch her channel. But at the same time, I just find it kind of weird where society knows, like deep down, when you leave TikTok and when you leave YouTube, people know that being 300 pounds is unhealthy. People know this, right? Now, I refuse to believe as somebody that was almost 300 pounds, and I was 300 pounds almost as a pretty fucking, it's not like I couldn't move, jump, everything like that. I had my shit going on, right? I still was in pain every day, got out of breath really easy, fucking hated how I looked, fucking felt like shit, all my joints hurt, everything like that, When you look at these people, like, I know how in pain they are. I know it, and I just find it to be this weird fucking thing where it's like, it's like a manipulation of the people making money off these people, more than anything. However, when do you think, like, what do you think it's going to take for like any of these people to change? If not, like, let's say, like, who do you think could make a change? Like I'm going to ask the audience and you guys, if there was one person you thought that I could reach out to that, like, in private, and I could help them make a change, who would it be?
I feel like it would have to be someone who's younger,
who hasn't been on the internet for too long.
And the reason why I talk about why I mentioned age as well maybe not younger, because I feel like as you get older,
you gain wisdom.
That's when you start to see as well, like, oh, can't bounce back like I used to. Yeah, maybe the younger girls, like there's some younger girls on TikTok who they make me more sad than frustrated. like
People are
lunch
mentioning
maker.
Tammy Lemon. I don't know who Tammy Lemon is.
I've seen a little bit of Tammy Lemon through Chikara Transformations. I think, yeah.
I've never watched.
Tammy
I'm
Lemon.
sorry, I
anything
don't
of
know
her.
who Tammy Lemon is. I'll have to
I've
look
only
that up.
I've seen a couple of videos via Chikara's
Ilona.
reaction videos. Yeah, Ilona's reaction videos.
Why do people think that that's why that's who?
I think she's shown a genuine attempt at trying to change her life around. Yeah, got the dog here.
Sorry, I'm loud.
So you know what? I might reach out to her, like for real. Like I and see if she'll. And all of you, if you watch her channels, like comment that I'm probably gonna reach out to her somewhere, probably on either Instagram or Twitter. Because that's the only places I'm allowed to reach out to people. But because like Facebook, I'm surprised this is broadcasting on my Facebook page, but I'm surprised because I can't like comment or post anything on Facebook because they hate me. But I just think that like you guys do an invaluable service. I think that like this stuff needs to be called out. Like the unhealthy nature of it absolutely needs to look that way and be seen as that way. And who we can help is who we can help. Now, I have people saying that Tammy is attempting to recover from binge eating and is very honest about her struggles. All right. You can tell she really is trying, but she needs a better support system. Tammy is likable. Now, I will say this. If I do reach out, I do not endorse the person. I no longer fucking do that at all. I actually started out with April Lauren being like, she's very positive, and look at this. My first video.
I remember.
Like, she's going to try to lose 200 pounds, and good for her. And she's already done this. And then it's like, same with Beatrice. Beatrice, we haven't even talked about. Beatrice belongs in Girl World. I fucking can't. I see Julian's like, I don't know. Beatrice is a liar. Beatrice, I don't believe ever intended upon having a weight loss channel. I believe she had planned on having a social media channel as a marketing person. To have your first video have 100% marketability rating, like means she studied this, knew about it, said used all the keywords right in the title, in the description box, and everything like that. So she absolutely, to me, this was about sponsorships and everything like that, right off the bat.
Oh, I know who you talk about now. Okay, I was like confused for a second. I know.
Yeah, Beatrice Crusoe, yes. Beatrice is a marketer. Make no mistake. To have a weight loss channel and then 2.5 years later, still be 225, 230 pounds.
Learning to be fearless. The Alexandra Rodriguez.
Alex will never.
She would never take help from
me. Ever. She would never take help from me. Neither would Beatrice. Beatrice was upset when Beatrice got upset with me because I did an initial video of her. I used to reach out to anybody that I did a video on before to give them a heads up. I don't do that anymore because fuck them. But Beatrice, I sent her a video and I even sent her the link. Like, hey, watch the video ahead of time before I press release. She was like, I'm good with it, fine. So I released it and then she got shitty about it. And she did a review on mine saying like acting like I just out of the blue picked on her. And I was like, well, I did fucking reach out to her. And that set me off a little bit. So that's the more personal side of it. But you can't actually claim that you're trying to better yourself when you don't. Like, I mean, it's like the excuses. Anyway, Alex Rodriguez, I think she's just got problems. Wendy Shepard, who else? Why you were saying you have problems with Alex, right?
Alexandra Rodriguez.
Yeah.
My view of her is she keeps throwing money at her problems, hoping it will fix itself. And then she pretends like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Oh, I'm just starting over. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And I'm like, man, money is not going to fix your issues, right? If you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to waste all your money. What's the point?
She's another one to me that the hyper consumerism, like it's just it bugs me because it's shows itself similar to April. All the things she buys, all the things she pushes. I don't know if it's just the focus on money or the behavior. Like I've made a few videos about her in the past where I think she used a lot of talking points of things that could apply to, you know, like for myself with Hashimoto's, it's like, well, it's not impossible. It just means you have to try different things or try harder. And like to Julian's point, her response is to a lot of the times to throw money at things, which, okay, like if people want to go get surgeries, like whatever, I guess it's their bodies, but at the same time, like the messaging is so muddled. Like you're coming
that's
on
what I
here
mean.
fighting against, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought I was mute.
No, you're good. Yeah, but like the messaging is just very muddled. Like you're coming on fighting against calling so many things fat phobic. And then the body positivity that you're trying to push is so like her audience, I feel like it's so focused on consumerism and like what she's bought and things to sell. I don't know. She's one that bugs me because
it's a business. It's not about actually helping people or helping himself. It's a business. Somebody said Beatrice just said if we could cancel her if she doesn't get it together this year. That video will get buried. I'm sorry. I don't believe that's true. So I mean, I believe she said it. I believe you that she said it, but I just don't think she actually means it. So here's the deal. I'm going to talk it over. I might reach out to Tammy Lemon, see if she wants to come on live and maybe do a live Q&A to see if I can answer any questions for her. I do want to wrap this up. Please go follow Julian and Tiffany and that Lindsay with an A. You guys tell everybody where they can find you if you want to.
I'm on Twitter, nowhere else. My YouTube channel is literally nothing. I'm just here to watch and talk shit.
Watch and talk shit. I like it.
My YouTube channel is Tiffany Gray. I just posted in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I think this was a really interesting conversation. I like how it just ebbed and flowed.
Yeah, and I like I said, I'd like to do this probably once a month, or even periodically. I will say that I did just post up the links to my coaching. We have a few slots available still. If you're having trouble and you want to get healthy this year, we can help you. Like I'm very proud to say I really think that we have an extremely good program set up where we talk to people on a daily basis. We do weekly video conferences, and we really address the individual person because while we're talking here about all these folks, it is a very individualized thing. Society makes it very hard to be healthy with, in fact, how the food and everything like that, because it is the food, and the food you eat is garbage most of the time. So I really do encourage anybody to check that out. We also, if you just wanted to join the app, here's the link to join the app. It is $9.99 a month, and you get to be in the Hunger Management Support Group. And one last thing, I have had bunches of people recently ask about just getting a consultation. And this is the link to get a 30-minute consultation with my wife or I, and you can, in fact, be on the app for a month. What were you going to say, Julian?
Oh, I was going to say, Alan, what about the young lady we were talking about? What was it? Thursday, about she cut out Uber Eats and the fast food and all of that stuff. What about her? I'm gonna see
if she's gonna come on. I don't necessarily know if she'll want help because she seems to be doing her own thing. And again, and she did respond to the video, and I thought it was very good. I do suggest that people not like her, Tammy Lemon, everybody. I do highly suggest you don't share your weight loss journey or your fitness journey on YouTube. Because I just don't think that is ever going to be a positive thing. Somebody said, I think if anybody could help Amber Loretta, it would be Alan. I've said multiple times I couldn't help her. She needs inpatient therapy. Somebody said she won't listen to anybody. Obese to Beast tried. This is not to knock on Johnny Boy. John does not know what the fuck he's doing when it comes to weight loss. Just to put it out there, John is somebody that worked out really, really hard and ate the same fucking thing for a long fucking time. He should not be giving weight loss advice to people.
I misread the comment, and I thought someone was saying you should reach out to help Obese to be.
He could definitely learn some shit because I really don't think he should be giving weight loss advice. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, he not only did he work out really hard, but he worked out in an unsafe manner. And I give him all the credit. He stuck to it. It does look like he, is ebbing and flowing with some weight. And he's, I wish him nothing but the best. I do think he's a complete sellout and doesn't understand who the fuck he is. But I don't think he should even be giving weight loss advice. The last couple of videos I've listened to, which have been a while ago, it's more woke style weight loss than anything, and I just don't think you should be. So that's my opinion. I mean, and I don't like John. John fucking talks shit on me publicly, so I'll be the first one to admit, yes, part of it's because I think John's a fucking shithead. But again, thank you all for joining, and I actually have Tammy's Instagram pulled up. I'm probably going to send her a message on there, and we'll go from there. But guys, thank you very much. Everybody have a great day. I'm off to go do some prep cooking and stuff like that, and I'll be showing all that stuff in our hunger management support group, which again you can join on the app, and you'll check it out because I'm probably going to show pictures of it all. But hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
Thank you for coming on,
Thank
guys.
you.
I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.